Welcome to a brand spanking new Kirblog. It's all about speedrunning, so I'm joined by two guests. We are a couple weeks off the heels of the excellent... that was my phone turning off because I had to have a cheat sheet of lyrics in front of me. Sorry, illusion shattered, everybody. We're hot off the heels a couple weeks later from the amazing, as always, Summer Games Done Quick gaming speedrunning charity marathon spectacular. And I'm very happy to say that I'm joined by two lovely first-time guests who were both runners, and one of which was an announcer for the events. Would you guys like to please introduce yourselves and what you do, who you are, what you play, what you run, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, anything? just get me to stop talking so you can't stay.
You can go first, Edo. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I'm Edovine. I have my own YouTube thing and do that stuff, but I also do speedrunning. I speedrun Tetris Attack in our 4-way race at SGDQ. I'm also a host. I read donations throughout GDQ events, and have been doing it for about, I want to say 2 years now, or like a year and a half, so yeah.
Awesome.
And my name is Liam, or I'm known on the internet as Triple Agent, and I ran Sonic 06 at this past GDQ, and it was an absolute blast.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Thank you. And I've been speedrunning maybe, I think, 2.5 years now, maybe even 3. I don't know. I don't feel that, old in the scene, but I started out with Paper Mario, and then that game got extremely hard because of new glitches, so I moved on to Sonic, and yeah, I don't really do much YouTube or anything, but I stream on Twitch, and that's fun.
Awesome. So I wanted to. I've never really gone into much of this community that I've been learning a lot more about because of the Games Done Quick charity events. Which, for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know what they are, Games Done Quick are a series of really incredible charity events where basically folks like these and many others all get together. I believe the location has been different several times, but where basically they speed run and sometimes even do speed run races of multiple players together, in Edobine's case on Tetris Attack, and get through games as quickly as possible. And a lot of them are record setters, and some of them are new people to individual kind of groups of folks that plays different games. And every year these people raise just absolutely incredible amounts of money. Most recently, there was well over $1 million raised for Doctors Without Borders, which was just, it blew my mind. And yet it didn't, because it's for such a great cause, and it's such a great, entertaining show. My kind of experience, I guess, with speedrunning in general, I do not consider myself one at all. I can beat Donkey Kong Country in about maybe under an hour, and I can beat Banjo-Kazooie in maybe less than 4 hours if I'm really concentrating, and that's nothing compared to the actual records of those games. So I would never call myself a speedrunner, but very often if I'm in a Skype call and I'm talking to people for a few hours and I just kind of want something to look at, very often I'll just kind of have one on in the background and just kind of be in awe of just the incredible tricks that you guys pull. And sometimes if it's not even, because you're talking about glitches in Paper Mario, Sonic 06 is infamously a game that is known for its glitches.
It's something else, I gotta say.
It's I have a soft spot for that game, knowing full well that it is absolute crap, but I have a soft spot for the game nonetheless. But yeah, with the Games Done Quick events, both the Awesome Games Done Quick, which is closer to the winter time, and Summer Games Done Quick, which is obviously during the summer. Those I actually tune in and listen to the commentaries from the runners themselves, or sometimes if they're very focused on sound cues or just focusing on playing the game in general, there'll be entertaining folks on the couch, kind of who are also from the same community of speedrunners for that particular game, describing things as to what they're doing and different techniques. The races in particular also get to be really cool, and it's always hype is the
oh god
catchphrase.
Here it comes.
Catchphrase of Game Done Quick. But those are always there were some really good ones this year in particular. There was a Mario 3 one, a Mario World one, and these would be 4 players at once all playing together and everything, all the screens showing at the same time, and they get intense, and it's entertaining. it's amazing at just like how much money is raised for such a good cause. You know, it's incredible to show like how much prowess you guys have.
Don't lump me in with all the other guys there. Like, there's some like. I feel inferior when I'm at the event because there's so many other people that are just so insanely good. I'm like, man, am I like good enough in my own realm to like be up there? But yeah.
Well, even then, like that's kind of the thing is I get this incredible sense of like camaraderie between you guys. Like it really seems. I mean, you know, obviously. Elephant in the room. I know that, you know, once in a while there's the occasional like, oh, that was a cringeworthy, or oh, that was a drama moment, or whatever. There's just so few and far between. Like overall, I mean, like I never forgot when I wish I could remember the gentleman's name, but the guy who ran Mischief Makers a couple of years ago that proposed to his
right
after that. I was like, I wanted to cry. That was wonderful when that happened, and like. And yeah, you know, it's people like Spike Vegeta and all the, you know, I'm sure is like probably like more of a veteran in the community and everything.
Spike is such a nice guy, like in person too. I actually, all right, so I kind of have a story with Spike. My name is Triple Agent, but it has 3s in it, and he's one of the few people that has unironically first time tried to pronounce my name as 3 Ag 3 and I get like really upset with that because it's really like obviously not, but whatever. So I introduced myself.
That sounds like something Spike would do so much. Oh my no, like here's my story. At SGDQ, there was because even though this is a speed running event. We do get a lot of people that are just attendees that aren't necessarily speedrunners, but just maybe favor the charity or favor games. And there was a gentleman that had his baby daughter with her, and we're in the practice room, and I see Spike, and then Spike's like, "Edo, come over here," and I'm like, "Okay," and I'm like, I go over, and he's like, I just wanted to see the baby. I didn't want to be creepy out, so I tagged you along with me.
I didn't even realize that they were like actual audience. I thought it was just all you guys.
Oh no! There's so many different attendees. I mean, like DS Dad is the most notable one.
Oh my gosh!
I just assumed he was somebody's dad that was like already there.
No. He's just a normal guy. He just attended.
Yeah, there are normal like, people that attend.
Here, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
All right. Well, like in terms of Paper Mario, there's a lot of people that like run the game, but not to like as seriously as a lot of other people, and just use GDQ as an excuse to like fly out to the same place and like meet up for the first time and like I don't know, sit around and have a 48-person Super Mario Sunshine race. You know? So like why not? Right. So.
I mean, well, I've been going on for so long already, but what I want to ask you guys, well, first of all, so you guys I guess consider yourselves like relatively new fixtures in the speedrunning world, I guess as it were, comparatively. But tell me a little bit about just the speedrunning community. I mean, you know, Games Done Quick and like Speedrunners Archive or Speed Demos Archive, that is, you know, stuff like that. What is kind of like that online world sort of like for you guys? Like just like, as a community and all these friends that you have and all these people, like what has it been kind of like for you since you've been part of it?
To be very honest, it's been very overwhelming.
Really?
Because I was first. I'm a YouTuber. I've always done Let's Plays before I did any of this.
Right.
And then you know Twitch came along. I've always been before it was when it was Justin TV, you stream stuff like that. And then I finally ran and watched a GDQ myself. It was probably one of the first, I think, GDQs. And I was like, oh, wow, like, this is actually really cool. I think this is something I could do. And it's just amazing how you kind of get nervous. Sometimes there are people that are, like, scared. Oh, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to go near that speedrunning community. That may not be my thing. But to be very honest, there are a lot of different communities in the speedrunning group that are just amazing. They welcome you with open arms. I actually just tried Super Mario RPG for the first time, and I was very, very surprised how like easily they already jumped at me and be like, "Oh my gosh, here's the guide, here's the videos, here's what you gotta do. We're gonna help you. We're gonna get you through this. Like,
we're gonna get you through this, man."
And I'm just so shocked. I'm like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy. I was not expecting it that much."
Exactly.
So it's definitely, there are many great communities. I also do Mayman X. They're an amazing community. They always try to get anyone to go to a GDQ so we can all hang. It's really nice to have that. So, and doing the Tetris Attack, that was the first time I really got to meet my Tetris Attack people. beside Darkwing Duck. So it was kind of cool because it was like, oh my gosh, I never got to meet them. I finally get to meet them, hang with them, and it was such an amazing experience. It really was.
Right. I have another like story on top of that, because for Sonic 06, right, like when I started running the game, nobody even knew what the world record was. Like there was nobody at all. There was no leaderboards. There was no community. It was just like my friend, IRL friend. After I was running Paper Mario, he started running Sonic 06, and I look over, I'm like, hey, that's actually like a really cool speedrun. And we kind of like created the community in a sense. Like we went and we like contacted all the guys that like had runs at any point. Like we scoured the internet for runs, and we like looked out and tried to like find these people, and then we gathered them all, and I made the Skype group for like the community for Sonic 06. And since our humble beginnings with only like 6 or 7 people, we've grown into like the 3rd most popular Sonic game behind the first 2 adventures.
Gosh,
and
so
it's so cool because like I really liked the run and nobody did it, and I was like, what is going on right now? So yeah.
No, it's funny, and I mean, I might have even, just a little side note, I might have even learned this from you, and if not you, from maybe somebody else who's run the game before. But I don't do Let's Play like gaming stuff myself, like personally. But I was visiting some friends for the holidays who have a gaming channel, the Elite 3 guys, for those of you out there who know them. And I decided, I said, hey, you know what? I don't speedrun Sonic 06, but I know how to beat it relatively quickly, you know, enough that like we could make it pretty funny, you know, not 700-year long,
exactly.
Let's Play series of Not that I don't love, you know, that playthrough, and I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, of course.
But that said, I was like, oh, I can do this. And then when I was playing it, I remember distinctly, I was like, hey, I'm gonna show off and show a cool trick. And I did the thing where like you jump out of the cutscene with the bird carrying you.
Oh yes.
And you like go around, you skip the whole silver section. Like, yeah, I felt cool for 2 seconds in this game that everybody hates so much.
Right. I know. Like, trust me.
Well, and to go back to Edo Bean's point too about like, you know, people being like very supportive, and I guess like I'm assuming you meant overwhelming in like a good way in terms of like so many people like wanting to like help you and like be part of it and etc.
To be honest, I thought it would be totally the opposite. Like, I hate to pull that card, but when you're a female gamer,
I mean that's
it's not
fair.
Always the easiest thing. So I was very, very shocked to find out that a lot of people in the speedrunning community are amazing people.
Yeah. The thing with that is, it's like there's only so many speedrunners, and like everyone wants the game that they run to have like this great community. Like say Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, dude. They do like weekly races. They do like all these. There's so many different people. They all like room together. They all like watch movies and stuff. It's like you want that to be your game. So if like you see anyone with even like a slight interest, you're like, oh, dude, wait, I wrote out this tutorial. Here you go. Here, come on, join the Skype group. Like, come on, dude.
This is my route. Yeah, because I mean that's the thing is like there's definitely a sense of like competitiveness, because I know there's like leaderboards and like people who have different records, but it seems like it's both competitive and collaborative. Then it's like, oh dude, I just found out a new glitch. Like you guys were talking constantly on the marathon about how like this new glitch was just discovered by this person who couldn't be here, but major shout outs to him. He's awesome for finding this out, and now we can apply it to all of us collectively can apply it to the same game. And now it's a whole new ball game, because even just, you know, this minor, you know, little thing that can save like maybe 10 seconds to a minute or whatever, like that can make a world of difference for like what the new you know, record is and everything. But it seems like everybody's like working together towards, you know, whatever games that they all play, and like that's so. I mean, you know, even to kind of jump on board what you were saying, Edo, about, you know, it's not what you expect. I expect, you know, my kind of small taste of competitive gaming is, you know, not the most positive thing in the world, but to see, you know, cases like this where it is so incredibly positive and genuinely fun, like it doesn't, because you can look at this and be like, wow, you know, it's like when you work in that kind of field, you know, not that it's a job in that way, I guess, but like in that, like, it's so part of your system all the time. It's like, oh, you'd think that they'd get sick of those games. Like, no, it's like accentuating the love of these games in a way, like all this stuff collectively.
I think like my favorite part in total about speedrunning is like the community glitch hunting type of thing. Like I'm really, really good friends with some of the best Paper Mario and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door speedrunner glitch hunter guys. Like I actually drove from New Jersey out to Minneapolis, Minnesota for the event, and I road tripped with Tass Malio, who's the guy that found Palace Skip in Thousand Year Door, and I've known him for like years and years and years. But the thing is, like, when you're in those group calls and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, I just found this new text storage thing, and now we can clip out in the room," and it's like, "Oh no way!" Like, let me jump in, and I'm gonna like they both are collaborating and try to find these like little tricks and time saves in the games, and I've been part of that, and it's really exciting. Like when you're onto something and like a group of 10 people all like found the glitch together. So. I don't know.
So crazy. I could not imagine doing that.
What I'm actually kind of curious too is, I mean, I'm sure that there are probably like games that you speed run and games that you just are like playing casually or straight up or whatever. Has there ever been a point with any particular game that like, oh, this is kind of like, I don't even want to say like, oh, it's ruined for me or whatever, but like, is it like a very different kind of feeling? Like, is it a different type of enjoyment that you get out of playing a game casually versus speedrunning a game, or do you like
massive.
one more than the other?
So
okay.
I have never played Sonic 06 casually. Ever. And
why would you want to, quite frankly?
Well, I mean, that's a good point, but like I physically I can't do it anymore. Like first of all, I don't know the correct way of going through stages like the way that it's intended, because I've never done it. But even if I were to, like, I can't, like, I don't know, it actually depends, because the guy that is the current world record holder for Thousand Year Door plays through that game casually on top of all the speedruns he's done. And he's beaten the game like 200 times, and he can still play through it casually. And most other people, though, the consensus is that like once you start speedrunning a game, I don't want to say it's ruined casually, because like why would you go back to taking like 10 hours to beat the game if you can beat it in 1 hour? Like,
right.
But
if it's like an RPG game, I imagine. I want to experience the story again. Of course,
the perfect example for me would be my buddy Just Incredible, who helped me learn SMRPG any percent. While I was doing that, he like knows everything about SMRPG, and he like told me these facts. I'm just like, wow. I'm like, I would have never known this, and I think that's really awesome that even though he speedruns his game, he knows this game like back and forth and everywhere, and all the little secrets and all the little random tidbits and stuff. And I think that's actually really cool about that. And I think that's why I don't think it bothers me when I'm speedrunning a game, because it's like I still love the game for what it is, and then I just think speedrunning just adds a new twist, like another chapter for me to enjoy the game even more.
It's like with Paper Mario also, like in terms of routing, like when I talk to the guys that are like the world record holders, they know every single item in every single item box, and like, oh yeah, there's a maple syrup outside of chapter 7, and there's one here. Like when they're trying to route out how much HP they need to go into the final boss, they're like, oh yeah, just grab the one honey syrup that's like in a hidden block outside the boss room. And I'm like, wait, what? It's great. It's so good.
I imagine, especially depending on what the game is, like what kind of genre it is or whatever. Like, your friend who's playing Mario RPG, like, I love that. That is like my favorite game of all time. And like, if you want to play it to like experience the story and the funny character dialogue and just like have fun with it, yeah, you can just play that game casually and it's fine. Speedrunning an RPG is like that. I can't even imagine like how many like numbers you got to keep track of in your head, and like how many like. Because especially with RPGs, there's so much like random shit, like RNG, as I've learned the term now.
As I was learning that any percent, the route that I'm actually doing is just like one that they just found out not that long ago, which doesn't require you to get the super suit, so you don't do the 100 jumps.
Oh man,
but,
really?
Oh my gosh, the whole process you have to do, like to do that, you have to make sure you have to cause a glitch so that you swap Peach and another character, so that when you get a level up, that she gains other characters' powers. Just seeing that freaking, it was so mind blowing.
I had never seen that until like a couple weekends ago when they did that, and I was like, holy wow, I didn't know you could do that.
And actually, the one that I didn't actually require me to get the one that they did, so I actually had to go grab Malo's powers. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy, and I had to do all these things, and it's like. But it's just mind-blowing. It really is.
But by the way, it's funny because how eye-opening this is, too, because, I mean, like frame-perfect, button inputs. I mean, you guys are, like, Rain Men with how, like, precise you guys can be with pulling off these tricks. And it's incredible to me because, like I said, Mario RPG is my favorite game of all time, and I think that the only thing in that game that I have never been able to accomplish is the 100 jumps to get the super suit. Because I swear to God, I think I have done literally every single other thing you can possibly do in that game, like just as a normal player, but I've never been able to do that. And now I realize, oh yeah, because there's no way. I think at the most I've gotten to 50. And I was like, my brain was like half turned off, and I was just kind of like letting my hand like do it for me.
I still can't believe people do that in a speedrun. I
don't either. I just
it's amazing.
It's so crazy.
Oh god! But I was gonna say too, in regards to Tetris Attack, another game that you play. Like, you know, on one hand, yeah, you can do like the races where you're trying to get through, fighting the AI. And you were telling me actually the other night before we were recording this about how Panel de Pon, the original Japanese version, the AI is actually a lot more difficult, which I'm not surprised to hear that.
It's funny because Tetris Attack, I was so surprised that we got it accepted for SGDQ. But I'm so happy that it did because it's a really quick game and it's nothing there's no real glitches or anything like that. It's just you have to beat it. It's all skill. It's all fast paced. It's all concentration. And
I watched it. It was a great run.
That's probably why I love it so much. And oh boy, does it have RNG? That's RNG, the game, the movie, the novel. It's so bad.
The series.
Dude, all right, if we're gonna talk about RNG at Paper Mario at 80%. When you get to the final boss, you have a 50% chance of winning.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Just like is it like which phase? Is it the first phase of the Bowser fight?
See, the thing is, right? You skip every single chapter. You don't fight any bosses. So at Bowser, you're level 3 because you've had to fight maybe 6 people total, right? And of course, getting random encounters loses time. So you're level 3. So it's almost complete. Like if Bowser does like 2 out of his 3 moves, you're dead. And it's like, oh well, looks like I just got all the way to the end of the run and died just because,
Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Especially if it's a game where, even just like you're dedicating an hour of your time. I mean, I'm sure that's nothing for like the people who really dedicate themselves. But like you spend an hour and it's like, oh, got bad RNG. Well, yep, that's it. That's the end of the run.
Right.
It's whatever.
I don't know of many games that are more brutal than Paper Mario. I mean, maybe Pokemon, but past that, like.
Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah, well, Pokemon, especially because like the hardware is so antiquated now comparatively that it's like, and there's so many glitches in like Red and Blue as it is. It's like, my god. On the note of the Tetris Attack bit though, what I was going to say before is like, yeah, you can have stuff like you can race people and like and that in of itself is fun, but also like even just playing that game like in versus mode, like the version that's built into the game itself, like. That still makes it fun, and it's still the same basic thing that you're having to do. Like the game doesn't actually change in terms of like the gameplay itself. So like that's a game that I imagine. Oh, you can speed run that, and you can have these races, and you can also just still play that game as it is because it's still all the same basic like functionality more or less.
And that's probably why I really like it because it's just
because it's just so all encompassing.
There's nothing different. Yeah. There's really no different categories. It's just difficulty, and that's it. And then by then, really, no one ever really plays the easier mode. So you just play the very hard because it's the fastest.
Oh,
so.
See, there's kind of a theme there too. Like instead of skipping all the chapters, say in Paper Mario, like there's categories that you have to beat all the bosses and play through all the chapters because you want to still play the whole game. Like it's like an Ocarina of Time. Like you can skip the entire game, but then there's all dungeons, which is in there just because it's a fun category. Like it's totally arbitrary. Like what do you consider like? The whole thing with glitchless is like what is a glitch, what it's not. I know that was a big discussion, but. And that's up for grabs. I don't have any say on it, but it's more like
I think that magical moment that happened to you during your run, and I'm gonna link to it. If you guys missed the Sonic 06 run this year, I'm just gonna link to it, and you'll know what I'm talking. I don't want to spoil it because it's but like that it's like you can't even prevent it. That shit just happens. It's like out of your control.
I knew it was gonna happen too. I so knew that it was something like that was gonna happen. I never.
Oh wait! I have to ask. Did you find out if that had happened before?
It has
or did you just?
It has never happened before. No one's ever seen it. DSS told me, man, that's that marathon luck right there. That's what he said.
That is beautiful. I swear to God, I feel like maybe. I don't know. I probably found something like that because I played through Sonic 06 more times than I'd like to admit. But, I realize now that if I found some glitch or whatever that I thought was special to me, I'm like, nah, somebody probably found this and knows how to manipulate it even further and really utilize it for getting a 20-minute run of Sonic's campaign or some shit.
You never know. Like, there's new things being found every day. We found a way to skew the gravity for Shadow off of a vehicle, so he walks kind of like, you know how the DK64 skew walk? Like how you like walk? Yeah, we can do that now with Shadow.
Wow.
And that was found like a month ago. We still haven't found any use for it because he's really slow when you do that, but it's like... And he also walks on water that way, too. So it's like...
It's just
my gosh.
Yeah, I can't, like... It gets better and better.
He just walks over. He's like, "Okay, let's charge ahead." It's like, "You doing all right there, buddy?"
It's like you can walk on the underside of the floor too.
Also, I in previous years, I love that it was a tradition to always stop when you guys would do full runs of the entire game, like all 3 campaigns. That everybody would stop to fucking show the cutscene.
Oh god, yeah, of course.
He does the back to the head kick on Silver.
Exactly.
That is so great.
Oh my god. Well, changing gears totally. Just because I'm curious. What kind of games do you guys like to play casually? Like when you're not training and developing yourself in the speedrun community as it is.
Whew. that's a hard one because I do too many things. I'm a SNES gal. I love my Super Nintendo. It's one of the systems that I always play the most. But I do a lot of Let's Plays, but they have been a lot of older games, but also newer ones. It's just, I'm all around, I guess you could say. I love adventure, action, RPGs, puzzles. The only thing I can't do is FPS games, really. Like that and sports, I can't do that.
I'm really bad at first person games.
Yes. So it's like that's just the thing, and it's funny because I do switch on and off between speedrunning and casually on my Twitch stream. So it's kind of nice, like, oh, I'm practicing and vigorously speedrunning, and then it's like, another day it's like, oh, I'm relaxed and I'm just playing Golden Sun and just chilling or whatever. It's really nice. So, but yeah, I like all range difference of games, so.
Okay.
So the problem with me is, like, I've been speedrunning too long. I can't remember the last time I played a game casually, and it's really sad to me that I think I've lost that, but, so I play a lot of rhythm games. I'm, like, a big fan of Osu, which is, like, you click circles to the beat, but it gets, like, incredible.
Oh, yeah, the original.
Yeah, the original Osu?
Like as in not Elite Beat Agent, like Tatakai Oendan, right?
No, like it's like a PC game. It's like
yeah. I thought you meant Oendan.
No, but it's based off Oendan. It's like it's a sort of fan base. It's something else. I'd look it up. Like it's so much fun. But other than that, I think Ori and the Blind Forest was the last game I attempted to play casually, and that was fantastic. Okay. But I just don't have the time anymore with college.
Yeah.
It's like
that too.
I work, so
yeah, right.
Yeah. No, even me. Like I think the last game I really made time for. I played Star Fox Zero at my best friend's place because they had a copy of it, and I played Undertale because I'd been meaning to for ages. But also that game was is short, so that's not a big. I'm too afraid to even get into that because everybody who is inevitably going to ask, "Oh, are you playing Pokemon Go?" I'm not going to do a Pokemon Go Kirblog right now because one, I'm not playing it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm too afraid to make the time commitment for it. And I know I'm going to get Sun and Moon, so I'm just I'll just wait till Sun and Moon comes out.
Yeah, that's a thing that I find very interesting, and I think that's why I like that I still do my Let's Plays, because it kind of gives me a chance to do something casual without having to worry about, I gotta beat this game as fast as possible.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking after a while,
I think the newest game that I played was probably, it probably was Undertale, a little bit of Star Fox Zero, and then, that's it. I don't really play newer games much anymore. I've been going backtrack and playing older games or games that I missed pretty much. I did Kirby Triple Deluxe. And
Kirby Triple Deluxe was one of the other games. I've actually kind of wanted to speedrun that game a little bit.
It's so fun. So it's just I really wanted to do it, and I was like, well, I need to play a new game. I need to force myself to play something new, and that's why I did it. That's why I did a Let's Play of it, and it's I've enjoyed it. I love it, and so it's going from casual to speedrun. Yeah, it's a little tricky, but I try to balance myself. And when you have work and stuff, and I actually just came back from shoulder surgery a few months back. So for a while, I couldn't even do any speedrunning. That was impossible.
well, out of curiosity too, because Edo, you're closer to my age. Liam, you're a little younger than I am. I grew up with like all of the original systems. I was very lucky
Yes.
that like my older siblings had like an NES and
spoiled.
Genesis and stuff.
I was spoiled.
And like but a lot of people that I met in grade school, their first system was like an N64. So like what were the earliest games that you guys had? Like where did you start on?
My first game was SM64, and it will always be my first game. And I still have the cartridge, and that was the first speedrun I actually did.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
really.
cool.
I did a 16-star run, and I still enjoy 16-star from time to time, and I've always wanted to try to go into 70, but it's just such a big commit. Like, SM64 is the quintessential speedrunning game. Like, if you want the melee of speedrunning, like, the most technical thing you want possible, the hardest possible thing to optimize, you want to do SM64.
Okay.
But, like, it's so intimidating. It's crazy. But
16 stars is where you like do like the yahoo like the
Yeah.
backwards jump like up the stairs and shit. I'm like, I remember the first time I ever saw that. It might have even been on in a GDQ like marathon of some kind, but I saw that. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Excuse me?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Did you watch the 0-star run?
I think so. Was that at this one?
It was at
or
the,
was that
the
at a different
GDQ
one?
before. I don't know.
Oh,
Wait, it was
okay.
SGDQ 2015 actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
okay.
was
I probably did see it last
And
summer.
I
Yeah.
saw
That was like, that was crazy. I knew about that run, but I'd never seen one and commentated and all that stuff. And like, there's these tricks to get to the end of the game with 1 star, and then the 0-star trick is like 200 times harder than 1 star, and he actually got it on the stage, like in front of, like on the, it was really hype. I don't know. Watch it. I don't know. I watched the 0-star run, man. It's so good.
For me, it would be, well, I was a spoiled kid. So we had a NES and a Genesis
Yep.
and
Same.
a virtual Game Boy at some point in our lives. Like, we were that spoiled, so we always had something. I don't even know what my first game is because I was always playing games, or it's Mario, Zelda, Sonic games, Earthworm Jim, Donkey Kong Country, Super Metroid, the Metroid series, Bomberman, Pokemon. Like, I was always, gaming has been my life.
Dang, you had a good childhood.
I will admit,
That's
I
good.
had a really good childhood, so it's like, games were always with me, and I always played with my brothers and stuff like that, so, and SNES was probably one of my favorites. To be very honest, I have a slew of games on the SNES that I just love so much. Link to the Past is probably one of my favorites. Mega Man X has always been close to me, which is why I speedrun that. Obviously Tetris Attack, hence why I speedrun that game too. So it's like, they're just games that I've always had forever, and it just hasn't been until now that I realized I could speedrun them.
Yeah, it's hard to get into the mindset of like, oh, I can actually do this. It's kind of weird. Like, you watch these people speedrun, and then like there's a little thought that goes, hey, maybe I should try to do that, and then you're like, no way. But then like when you're at GDQ, all the other people that speedrun that game, you're like, hey, this would kind of be fun to run, and everyone like jumps at you and like, okay, looks like I'm running this game.
Like I feel like for me, like if I were to pick like one, it would be maybe like 100% Donkey Kong Country, because like I consider myself pretty good at the game. I've only 100%ed it once before, but I have 100%ed all 3 of the Donkey Kong games at least once in my life. I didn't with 3 until only a couple of years ago. I actually did it on JonTron's copy of Donkey Kong Country 3.
Oh wow.
Oh gosh.
It was like shortly after he moved to New York, which was funny. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country, I can just get to the end of that game in like a little less than an hour. But even then, like, that's nothing compared to like I've tried, but I can never get that like frame perfect. You like hit the button like right on the way to the next jungle level, and it takes you all the way to like Orangutan Gang, and you like skip like 3
I
worlds.
still
or
can't
whatever.
believe that. I remember watching a Donkey Kong Country run.
I've still never been able to do this, and that stuff is so like on a level that I'm just not at with gaming in general, that I'm just like, oh god, I don't know if I could
about
ever.
100%, to be very honest. I do Mega Man X 100%. I don't do
Yeah.
any percent. Sorry, 80% for speedrunners. But 100% was something where it's like, when I really decided to start speedrunning, I'm like, okay, what game can I speedrun? What can I do? And Mega Man X was the first game that I thought of, because I still remember to this day how to get everything, where everything is, and it still was lodged into my brain how to do it, and it was just like just learning the movements and the tricks, and that was all there was to it. With Tetris Attack, it was just like, well, I already know how to play this game, and to be very honest, it's just me playing it casually. So it was just like, okay, I just have to go faster? Okay, like that, alright, I'll go faster, like, and that's just how my speedrunning with Tetris Attack came to be. It's pretty much just me playing it.
And there's also the flip side of that. It's like, I remember playing through the original Paper Mario normally, and I made it to the end, and it was great. Then I ran 80% for a little while, and I was like, you know what? I've never actually gotten everything in this game. I've never 100%ed this game. Wouldn't it be interesting to try out 100%? Because nobody had ran 100% in Paper Mario at all, but there was a route for it, and it's like 7-something hours long. Or it was actually, okay, so somebody did like a casual playthrough, and it was like 12 hours. And everyone was kind of intimidated, and he was like, oh, is the speedrun like going to be 12 hours? But it turns out that when I like routed it out, like, and actually grinded movement and good tricks, it was like 7.5, which isn't bad. And since that time, other people have done 100%. But it was awesome because, like, I had never gotten all of the little, like, recipes and all of the little items from every corner. And it was really, really fun because I was like, oh, my gosh, look at this hidden panel behind this hammer upgrade that's, like, a badge here. And I had no idea. But, yeah. So.
I'll admit, with Paper Mario, I really, like, it makes me want to learn that game because I actually did a hosting shift for the
oh my god, I was there. I was there on the couch. That was fantastic.
Being Twink was my favorite thing. Oh my god!
Oh, that's right. That's right. I totally forgot about.
You're my favorite host from that point on.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Yes,
yeah.
I loved being Twink so much, and I still get people that message me. You're the most amazing Twink. You're canon in my head. Like I'm like, oh my god.
I know it's funny because and there's a video out there somewhere. You've probably lost to the ages of like the last time I was playing through Paper Mario with one of my best friends, and we were doing like stupid voices and shit the whole time. And the voice that popped in my head for Twink like a billion years ago when I first played the game was this like, if you guys have seen South Park, that episode where Cartman has like the fairy like on his shoulder version of himself being, that's what I hear and perform Twink as, and then I hear your thing and I'm like, no, that's actually much more like I could actually hear Twink sounding like the way that you did it on that fucking stream.
I had so much fun doing that, and that's probably one of the reasons why I really do like to do hostings, because I get to see new games, I get to try new things. This GDQ for me was all about Kirby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of Kirby requests.
And going all that. They went
God.
insane. And I'm like,
so
oh my god, what have I created? So that's it's always so much fun. It really is.
Oh yeah. No, honestly, like I think if I were to be totally selfish, that if I were to ever go to like actually be there for a Games Done Quick like event, I would love to do like a guest announcing block of some kind. I would feel so out of place. I'm not a real speedrunner. I'm just a fan. I'm just a leech and all this shit.
Like, I honestly, you should go. Like, if you are interested in, it's not that. I mean, I guess it is a time commitment, but like, I remember the first time thinking, like, before I went to SGDQ 2015, and I've been to every GDQ since, that, oh, no, I mean, like, I'm not running there. I don't know if I'd be, out of place or anything. I don't know if I'd know anybody. But one of my friends, he was actually running at the event, and he said, yo, do you want to be on couch for my run? And that is the thing that, like, eventually, he actually ran Big the Cat. I don't know if you've seen the Big the Cat run. Yeah, that was my first GDQ experience. It was fantastic, right?
Wow.
But yeah, that's what convinced me to fly out to Minnesota last year, and it's just such a like welcoming event. Like, I've met so many new people that I feel like even if you don't know anybody on your way there, you'll get there and you can just sit down literally next to anybody in any practice room and be like, oh, what are you playing? And then boom. There you go.
Yeah.
If you guys go, maybe someday I very well might, even if it was just like for like a couple days or something.
Right, exactly. You don't have to even stay. The HQs are in DC, so I don't know.
Maybe if I can pull a car. I hesitate because I don't want to be like, I don't know if you've heard of me, but I did some fucking video game parodies and I voiced in video games before, and I'm a big fucking deal on the internet. You should totally. I don't want to fucking pull that card because here's the thing. I really truly mean this when I say this, and I tweeted about this, and I want to say it again here. I genuinely aspire to be the types of people that all of you guys, all of the GDQ runners are, in that you are all very, very wonderfully nice people.
Aww.
You're incredibly like professional, like top tier level of what it is that you do. and you do great things for others with this charity. I look at this and I'm like, and it's like I do animation, I do like creative stuff and everything. Like those are two totally different worlds. But in terms of like the lifestyle and like just the kinds of people that you guys are, I look at that. I really had that moment. I looked at it this time and I was just like, man, these are the types of people that like I want to be that good of a person. I want to be that good at what I do. I want to be that like nice to other people and like giving to other people and etc. It really is. I'm not just sucking up. I really do mean that. Like it was a very like. And I've been watching for a few years, but just like something about this year, I finally had a moment where I was like, man, these guys.
Everyone was so happy this year. Like, there's other GDQs where, when I've been to, there was like a certain run that was like, they crossed the line, and everyone's kind of like, oh, man. And then like towards the end, some people like start having beef or something. But this year was just such a like feel-good SGDQ. I don't even know. It was so nice. I think it's because like last year last GDQ we raised slightly less money than the year before, and everyone was kind of worried like, oh, is the whole novelty of speedrunning wearing off? Like it was. It's weird to think of it now because we know that like it's where we did well. We broke our viewer cap, I think, or no, we didn't break over 200,000, but still. It's just like we raised so much this year, and everyone was just so happy. And I feel like
is this the most that you've ever raised, or has that record not been?
That record is still from HGDQ 2015. But the thing is, right, like this year we didn't have a lot of the big name. Like Notch for protest against bits didn't donate like 30K to GDQ.
Oh, that's the other thing too. Is I forgot to mention this. Like so many of the people that were donating, like in like the 3 to 4 digit ranges, were other people from the community.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I bet. And I don't know. Maybe I'm being facetious, but I bet so many of these people, like these like top speedrunner people, are like doctors and lawyers and like. These super genius people that just, and I also play video games, and I'm also, like, the best at this game in the world.
Because, like, at HDQ, they were supposed to have Luis Miguel, who's an ex-runner. He was supposed to have a run, and he's actually from Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
And actually could not make it because he could not get through, customs and stuff like that. And he was so bummed about it because he couldn't make it and they had to cancel his run and stuff like that. Aww. But I remember when I hosted for the race that, they obviously, he saved money so that he could go. And I was like, that's just a bummer. But the fact that he decided to donate that money, like,
wow.
And I think that was like, gosh, I want to say it was like $1,300. Like he donated the whole thing because he was like, I'm so sorry, like I couldn't attend and whatever. He's like, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give the money, back, to the charity, even though I couldn't attend for this. This was the money you guys built up for me to go, but I couldn't make it. And so it's just really crazy, like how, like, even if things don't go the way they do, like how people still pull and manage to make things happen. It's really crazy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
When you're there and everyone's donating, and everyone's in the mood, and we're all raising money, and it's for a good cause. Like you can't help but like want to donate all your life savings to charity at that moment. Right? Like it's so great. I don't know.
It just puts you in a very charitable mood.
Exactly. It's such a great thing.
I mean, even in like that last home stretch of like Final Fantasy VI followed by Mario RPG, and then the little bonus Mario 64 race. Like just in like every like 15 minutes, like people are donating like 4-digit amounts, and I'm just like, this is the best thing ever. Like it's just incredible.
It's really what I like about reading donations and doing that because, the way that we have it set up is we're on our own little table with the laptop, and we look through the comments and stuff. Yeah. And we have our mic set up or whatever, and I'm just like looking through some of them, and some of them are just like. Wow,
yeah.
like it can be really sad, heartbreaking things that I see in comments, and then there's sometimes it's just like the goofy ones, like there's just like people just having a good time or whatever. Like
we got $10 from Jeb Bush. Please clap.
Right, like or the whole like $10 for. Wow, like, and that was just what was going on. The Pepsi Man was the most craziest thing that I've ever seen. I have to say,
being in the stream room for Pepsi Man was probably the best decision I've ever been. I've never made.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, you guys were both amazing on your runs, but I also definitely want to, Pepsi Man, and I want to say, I don't know if he's ever gonna. I forget his name. I don't know if he'll ever be able to come back after this. But the guy who fucking ran Jack and Daxter.
Oh god. You know what? Like, all right, I was talking to the Jack and Daxter people because I actually hung out. Like, all right, I never ran Jack and Daxter. I never knew anyone that ran Jack and Daxter. But out of nowhere, after my run, all of the Jack and Daxter crew congratulated me because they all watched it for some reason, and then took me back to their room, and I hung out with them for like the rest of GDQ. So I met all these new people, and right before, I know it's crazy. Like they had no reason to talk to me, but they did anyway, so that's cool. But before the Jack and Daxter run, they were like, "Yeah, Bonesaw's like not." It hasn't run Jack and Daxter in a while. I wonder how the run's gonna turn out. Like they had their doubts.
Yeah, he had a little trouble because I know he had just moved. I mean,
right.
He moved out of country, like so he going through all that travel stuff and whatnot. So, but my gosh,
I don't even care how long it took. That run was the most entertaining shit. I'm
sorry. When you have Bonesaw, you already know hilarious she is. When you have Patty in the couch,
yeah.
Patty is just a great guy, and I know some people that don't like him that think he's annoying, but I don't care. He always brings a smile on my face, and he's actually one of the people that I knew before speedrunning because we're YouTubers, so we knew through each other through the YouTubing community, and then it's like, oh, we both do Twitch now. Cool, we're gonna play games on Twitch, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're in the speedrunning community now. Okay, we're gonna speedrun games and stuff. So I love Patty and everything that he does. His Aladdin run, if you did not see that, was the most hilarious thing ever.
I'm gonna link in like an annotation or the description or something where you guys can also see some of just the general Games Done Quick YouTube channel where all the stuff is archived.
Oh my gosh!
You know, there's some amazing.
There's
stuff.
so many highlights. There's so many highlights.
Another shout out I want to give actually to you, Liam, is because I mean, Edo, you had Twink and Kirby and all these adorable voices. And I even tweeted you about this. The one that crashed my shit up in the Sonic 06 run was when he was like, okay, this game is okay. Because I always when I do like my semi, like not really speed run, but like my quick enough for me run of Sonic 06. When I skip over playing a Silver in Kingdom Valley, I always go into the little alcove.
Great.
Great. And so, but because I do it with Sonic, I get okay. Like,
exactly. That was such a spur of the moment thing. I was just kind of like so relaxed. It's all right. So it's really weird when you know that you're going to be on the stage of Games Done Quick and that there's going to be like 6 digits people watching you.
Yep.
It's right before you go up. You are like. You're dying. You're so nervous. But when you're actually up there and your friends are right on the couch behind you and the entire audience is with you, like, laughing and having a good time, you just, like, you feel so, like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like a weight off my back. It's great.
Oh, God.
It was nerve-wracking doing that race, I'm going to be honest with you.
Dude, Sonic 06 and Mario RPG are 2 games I would love to, like, be on the couch for and just, like... giving like, well, did you know that whatever about Princess Elise's voice actor or whatever, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, yeah, no, there were so many good ones. It's so weird. Like I'm so not productive during those weeks because I'm just like I can't just listen to the commentary. I have to be watching these, and I don't have a dual monitor set up right now. But it's so goddamn good. I just get sucked in, and it's like. This is my week. My week is just watching.
That's a lot of people.
Before I was a speedrunner, I was a watcher, and I know firsthand, like, it's so hard even being there. You're like, oh man, but I want to see all these runs, but they're at 6 a.m, but it's whatever. I'm going to wake up for it. And especially when your friends are up there running. Like, I'm really longtime friends with the guy that runs Kirby Air Ride. Like, he's from my town. And he has been wanting to get Kirby Air Ride in for as long as I've wanted Sonic 06 in, because I've submitted it 3 times, got rejected 3 times, and then got it in on the 4th one. Same with him. And, like, his run was at 6 a.m, and I'm like, oh my goodness, looks like I'm waking up at 6 a.m. to go down to the stream room and hang out with my buddies.
The whole scheduling and everything, like, when I did hosting, I don't know why, I always have this, sometimes, you know, even though we have volunteers for hosting and stuff like that, sometimes something comes up, whether someone couldn't make it, or something happened, wherever the case may be, you know, we have to cover that and stuff like that. And so far, every GDQ, I always have to cover that 3 a.m.
Oh
shift.
God, yeah. The 3 a.m.
just
10-hour shift.
But for some reason, like, I just love it that I end up doing it. For some reason, like, I have so much fun at HGQ. I had to do it for, like, part of the indie group, and I never watched indie games. So, like, I don't play a lot of indie games, so watching the actual speedruns was really cool, and that's how I got to meet some of the people.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really awesome, and it's just, like, it's just crazy when I'm just thinking, wow, I'm up at, you know, God knows when in the morning.
Those hours are the best hours.
Because you're like halfway delirious, like the
Exactly.
funniest shit comes out of your mouth, and it's just
And,
it's like
and the funniest thing about that was when I had to do the one for the indie group. There's
Yeah.
a guy by Frozen Truly. He did the
Oh my
Tesla
God,
grad.
Frozen.
And-
He's the guy in the Pepsi Man suit, by the way. I just want
Yes,
to shout
he's the
out
guy in the
Frozen
Pepsi
Truly.
Man
Oh,
suit. So
He works.
Shout out
He
to you,
works for
dude.
Pepsi.
Yes!
I'm not even kidding. He works for Pepsi.
I remember the game before, and that room was a little empty, and, you know, hey, it happens, people gotta sleep, whatever. So it was a little bit empty, and then right before, like, his run's about to come in, there's this swarm
It's
of people
incredible.
coming
So, like,
in. I'm just like,
I was in
who's
that
this
swarm.
guy?
So the thing
am
is,
I
right-
am I supposed to know this person? I'm like, I feel so bad, like, and ever since that, Pepsi. There you go. We're
Yeah,
we're
but like,
sell out
alright.
for Pepsi.
Wait, so Frozen is like one of the nicest people in the entire speedrunning community,
Yes.
and he's basically like got his foot in everywhere. Like, he's known by so many different people. And I remember last year, everyone was like, "Oh crap, the Tesla grad run got the night shift hours," and then for some reason, like, I just heard groups and groups of people like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna stay up for 4 a.m. Tesla grad. You're gonna go stay up with me?" I'm like, what? Okay. So it's just like a group of like 30-ish people
Yes.
just swarmed the stream room at 4 a.m. to watch Frozen do Tesla grad. It was
That
awesome.
took me off my guard. I was just like, I'm thinking I'm gonna have a slow night, you know, or whatever,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden, and then I start seeing the comments, and I'm like, why are they talking about Pepsi? I'm
Oh
like,
my God,
so
yeah.
confused.
Pepsi Man.
And I'm just like, okay, we're apparently endorsing Pepsi now. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so
funny.
hilarious. Probably would've-
Pepsi for TV Game.
like it. Oh my god,
Pepsi for pizza.
Oh Lord.
it was so
Um,
great.
I guess because we're kind of winding down, I do want to ask you guys if you had anything, like, I guess, like, advice or words of wisdom or anything to anybody who, like, wants to get into the speedrunning community for any game, whether it's ones that you've worked on or that you've played, or that that you've been interested in, or just the community in general. What would you have to say to anybody out there listening?
I'm saying you don't have to get world record to be a speedrunner. I'd say,
Okay.
like, people get so intimidated, like, they watch the GDQ streams and they're like, oh my god, these guys are, like, insanely good, but they don't see that there's, like, 20 other guys that also speedrun that, like, maybe aren't at that level but still like to play the game. It's like, I don't want to... If I get really good at Sonic 06, I don't want that to be a deterrent to other people wanting to try to speedrun Sonic 06. Like, I try to make it, at least in our community, that we don't care if you have, like, a top time or not. You're just, like, an equal. There's some games that, like, say in SM64, like, if you're Siglemic and then you're also another guy that's got, like, an hour and a half time for, like, 16 star, maybe your opinions are a little bit less weighted in terms of, like, or you're less well known. But in terms of our community, like, just join, and you don't have to, like, be world record holder. It's really fun to just kind of speedrun it, but not super seriously, and just hang out with the rest of the crew. Like, it's like, I don't know.
For me, it would just be, just don't be discouraged. Like,
Yeah.
because the thing that people, like, they do get intimidated by seeing these things, and I totally understand. This is, it's why we have this event, so that people can see, like, what can be done with games and stuff like that. But don't be discouraged. Like, you're gonna fail it a billion times.
Oh, God.
If you're watching these people, at GDQs, you're gonna have to understand those people failed probably millions and millions of times trying to get to where they are today. So if you ever want to try anything, whatever game that you desire, pick to me, I always say, pick a game that you really love. if there's a game that you really, really like that you think that can be speedrunnable, go for it. I can't see why not. Learn about the community. There are so many different, even though we're speed running community, there's different little branches. There's your Zelda people, your Kirby, Mario, Mega Man.
And then even within that, there's like the glitch hunters that don't really speedrun as much, but are still like, yeah.
TAS people.
Oh god, the TAS guys. The TAS
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about
TAS people go. Oh my gosh, just seeing, just going crazy and stuff. I know, they just updated on, one of the X games, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah. I'm really good friends with the TAS guy, and he's done the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door task 5 times. He's done the whole game 5 times.
My god.
So he just really likes Paper Mario the 1000 Year Door. I just
like I said, if there's something you like, you really want to try it, go for it. Just try it and see what happens. I mean, I've tried millions of different speedrun games, and I found, at least a good 3 that I really love now. So it's you just have to try it, you just keep trying it, and that's really all you have to do.
You don't have to be incredibly, you don't have to be the number 1 guy to, have fun speedrunning. It's just,
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, this is coming from someone who's just on the outside looking in, but I mean, I gotta say, just even to add on to what these guys are telling you, I mean, I have not. It's very rare that you see as welcoming of a community, especially on the internet. Where it's just so easy for people to be assholes and then and to be salty and not very there's not much camaraderie. But this is one of those rare communities, and it's a giant series of mini communities depending on the game and then the genre and just all these people, but they're all just so great. And so open to everybody and everything that it really I would really say if anybody out there, if you want to get into this, don't be afraid, because I mean there's so much support that you'll have going immediately into it.
I've actually Skype called with new runners to teach them the entire speed run, and they're like, oh my god, hi, I watched your runs, and I'm just like, no, I'm just a normal dude, what's up, dude? I'm here to teach you this game, are you ready to go? Chill, I'm not famous, come on. But I'm merely the teacher, right?
And you
Exactly.
and then otherwise we both just shit like everybody else. We're normal human beings.
Exactly. You're right.
Well, to all of that, I say I'm actually going to correct my earlier bit about the great room. I was wrong. It's not okay. It's yes. to all of that. So.
Exactly.
So guys, thank you both so much, seriously, for giving me an hour of your time.
No problem.
Real quick, please tell everybody out there, plug your Twitch channels, your YouTube channels, Twitters, anything you want, any stuff you have coming up that you want to talk about, anything at all, please go for it.
I stream on twitch.tv/333ag3ant, and my Twitter is also 333ag3ant, and even though I'm going back to college, I'm going to try as much as I can over the summer to get streaming in, and I'm going to burn myself out, and it's going to be amazing, and yeah, I can't wait. So.
Yeah, Edobean throughout almost everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, it's _ Edobean. Edobean you can find on YouTube. I do Let's Plays. I do stupid singing. My Let's Plays right now, I'm still doing, still finishing the videos of Kirby Triple Deluxe and doing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I have other games in plan. Streaming-wise, I try to stream as much as I can. Casually, speedrunning, whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it, so.
And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Well, all of everybody out there, if you guys have not seen their individual stuff beyond the Games Done Quick marathons, please check them out. They're both fantastic. Thank you guys again so much for joining me. That's going to wrap us up. So, in the comments below, if you have any stories about if you were watching the Games Done Quick marathons, if you've ever tried speedrunning before, if you have any games that you're almost that level of doing it at, or you have any stories about interacting with the community or anything, leave any comments about that. Any favorite games from this past Summer Games Done Quick that just happened that were really funny runs to you that you really thought were cool? Anything you want to, any thoughts you want to share, stories, anything like that at all?
Shout some Pepsi Man in there.
Give some all caps Pepsi Man in there. Why not?
Pepsi Man in
please.
the chat.
It's gonna be it's gonna be every fucking comment now.
Or you can do Cool Cat now loading Cool Cat.
God Almighty. Reticulating spline.
You do Waz or Poyos.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, that's gonna be every comment. Thank you, good. Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys for joining me again, and we will all catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.